The time is 8:45 p.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Dilini Gunawardena and read by Tilani Pires. The headlines. The President attends to address the issues faced by the employees of the plantation sector. 25 billion rupees is allocated to continue the modernization program in the agricultural sector. Iran President is to visit the island to inaugurate the Uma Oya project. A memorandum of understanding is inked to establish a collaborative exchange program in the fields of education and research. Sarvodaya founder Dr. APR Ratna passes away. And on international news, Germany calls for fresh sanctions on Iranian drones. And on sports, swimming, 2 Sri Lankan swimmers will be sent to the 2024 Paris Summer Olympics. The President's attention is aimed to address the issues faced by the employees of the plantation sector of the Hill Country. These remarks were made during the President's visit to the Court Lodge estate owned by the Udapassella Plantation Company in Nuwara this morning. President Wickremesinghe highlighted the need of exploring opportunities for the revival of the tourism industry around the picturesque hills of Nuwara. Notably, the President embarked on this journey by traversing the Pico Trail. The Pico Trail spans over 300 kilometers through the central highlands of Sri Lanka, regarded as one of Asia's best-kept secret routes. Originally constructed during the British colonial period to transport tea from vast plantations to factories, the trail holds historical significance. During his visit, President Ranil Wickremesinghe personally inspected the fundamental requirements of the plantation workers, addressing issues related to education, healthcare and housing. The head of the state particularly focused on the prospects of the children within the plantation workers community, especially those set to complete their schooling after the GC advanced level examination. The Minister Mahinda Amaraveera said that the President has allocated an amount of 25 billion rupees to continue the modernization program in the agriculture sector this year. The Minister expressed these views while participating in the occasion of distributing the fruit plants required for the national tree planting at the auspicious time on the 18th of this month to the staff of the Minister of Agriculture and Plantation Industries. The Minister noted the need to attract the youth community to agriculture in the island. In order to achieve this goal, the Youth Agri-Entrepreneurship Village System was started in Hambantota, Monaragala, Gaul, Vavuniya and Kurunegala districts last year. The aim of this program is to select at least 200 villagers in 200 divisional secretariat divisions island-wide and develop them as youth agro-entrepreneurship villages, in particular providing drone technology, using parachute discs for paddy cultivation, using sprinkler water technology for irrigation, as well as drip irrigation method, cultivating seeds that can get more yield, as well as cultivating high-quality crops will be carried out under this program. The Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi will arrive in Sri Lanka on the 24th of April on a one-day official visit. The aim of this visit is to inaugurate Tehran-assisted $529 million worth Uma Oya multipurpose development project. This is the first time an Iranian president is coming to Sri Lanka since 2008. The Uma Oya project was originally scheduled to be completed in 2015 but has been delayed several times due to unexpected issues. The project includes storing water in 2 reservoirs with dams before being brought through a 23-kilometer tunnel to 2 turbines located underground and generating hydropower with a capacity of 120 megawatts and added to the national grid. After power generation, the water is expected to be brought to 3 reservoirs by supplying water to 20,000 acres of old and new paddy fields in both the Yala and Maha cultivating seasons. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The Minister of Education, Susi Premajant, has undertaken an observation tour of the University of Illinois in Chicago, USA. During his visit, the minister visited the medical and robotic surgery laboratories of the world's second-largest medical school owned by the university. The education minister reported to have requested to provide the modern technical methods used by the university to the university students in Sri Lanka. During the visit, the minister announced that a memorandum of understanding was signed between the University of Peradeniya and the University of Illinois to establish a collaborative exchange program in the fields of education and research. Commenting on the memorandum, Minister Premajant said that it will provide the opportunity for Sri Lankan students to study new learning methods. The founder of the Sarvodaya Shramadana movement of Sri Lanka, Dr. A.T. Ariyaratne, has passed away at the age of 93. Dr. Ariyaratne is the founder and the president emeritus of the Sarvodaya Shramadana movement of Sri Lanka, a grassroots humanitarian organization based on the concept of sharing of labor, thought and energy for the awakening of all. Sarvodaya has been active throughout Sri Lanka since 1958, despite numerous hardships it has faced over the years. For over 63 years, Sarvodaya has continued its service as the largest non-government movement in Sri Lanka, and Dr. Ariyaratne has received many national and international awards in recognition of his commitment to the nation and its people. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena instructed the officials to perform the funeral of Dr. Ariyaratne with state honours. That ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
Sri Lanka and Kyrgyz Republic signed a memorandum of understanding on bilateral cooperation at the Foreign Office consultations that took place in Bishkek on Monday. The Minister of Foreign Affairs said the two sides prioritize expanding economic cooperation, focusing on apparel, gems and jewelry, tea, food and beverages, wellness and Ayurvedic products, education services and ICT sectors during the discussion. The potential for the promotion of tourism to facilitate connectivity and to strengthen people-to-people linkages was also considered. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Sinhala Mahatmya.
And on Watch Light tonight, according to the Epidemiology Unit, the tally of dengue cases recorded for 2024 has topped the 21,000 mark. The highest number of recent dengue cases, which is 7,547, was reported from the Western Province. Out of that, over 4,000 cases were from the Colombo district. As several parts in Sri Lanka has experienced significant rainfall for the past few days, health officials urge people to keep their surroundings clean and destroy mosquito breeding places in order to keep dengue at bay. That came to you in Watchlight. Coming up, World News. World News headlines first. Germany calls for fresh sanctions on Iranian drones. The French government is concerned about security of the Olympic opening ceremony. The general election of India will begin on Friday. The German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock is calling on the European Union to impose fresh sanctions on Iranian drone technology. She says she campaigned last year together with France and other EU countries for the drone sanctions regime to be extended. Meanwhile, the minister is heading to Israel today for talks on calming tensions in the region. She told reporters it was important for Germany to work together to contribute to de-escalation in the Middle East in these fragile times. After Iran's attack on Saturday night, she said Israel can protect itself and condemned Iran's aggressive behavior, saying the regime wanted to destabilize an entire region. Worried about the threats such as drone attacks, the French government has cut spectator numbers at the Olympic opening ceremony. The event is expected to see the national teams parading in boats along a 6-kilometer stretch of the River Seine through central Paris. The original plan was for an estimated 600,000 members of the public to watch from the banks. President Emmanuel Macron has said the ceremony could be moved from the Seine altogether if the security risk is too great. The French government is using about 20,000 soldiers and over 40,000 police officers to provide security. It also has support from about 2,000 troops and police officers from other countries. Indians will begin choosing a new parliament for the next 5 years on 19th of April as Prime Minister Narendra Modi seeks a third consecutive term. With 969 million eligible voters polling to elect 543 MPs will run over 6 weeks, ending 1st of June. Opinion polls put Mr. Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party and its allies ahead. They are up against the National Development Inclusive Alliance of India, which groups more than 24 opposition parties, including the Congress. Back to the world news headlines. Germany calls for fresh sanctions on Iranian drones. The French government is concerned about security of the Olympic opening ceremony. The general election of India will begin on Friday. That ends world news. Development news. The Sri Lanka-Pakistan Business Council of the Ceylon Chamber of Commerce recently paid a courtesy call on the newly appointed High Commissioner of Pakistan in Sri Lanka, Major General retired Fahim ul Aziz. During the visit, both parties expressed their intention to collaborate closely for the future development of economic tourism and investment opportunities between the two countries. Additionally, they discussed the potential for developing Buddhist pilgrimages to Pakistan. The visit concluded positively, with both parties expressing optimism for future collaborations and mutual benefit. That ends development news. Moving on with sports news. And it's swimming tonight. The Sri Lanka Aquatic Sports Union announced that Sri Lanka is sending 2 swimmers to the 2024 Paris Summer Olympics. Both Kailabi Singha and Ganga Senviratne are from Killer Whale Aquatics. Since no swimmers qualified for the Paris Games, the SLASU picked the swimmers from those who participated in the World Aquatic Championships Doha 2024. Kailabi Singha made an amazing comeback, swimming the men's 100 meters freestyle in 50 seconds, 0.99 microseconds, earning 776 points, and after being injured for 4 years. As the highest in the female category for country, Ganga Senviratne also did well in the women's 100 meters backstroke and earning 686 points in Doha. That came to you in sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න as වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The 21st edition of the Culinary Arts Food Expo 2024, spearheaded by Chefs Guild Lanka, will take place from the 7th to the 9th of June at the Sirimavo Bandaranayaka Memorial Exhibition Centre. The event features culinary competitions, trade stalls, food festivals, cookery demonstrations and cooking classes. It will also feature the Tea, Coconut and Spice Festival, highlighting the island's expertise in these signature products and attracting a plethora of relevant stakeholders. That came to you in business news.
Business news sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න as වහගෙන දැකපු හින හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IAM, a plan for your dream.
And on economic news, the State Finance Minister Ranjit Simbalapitiya said the government has not allowed any rice imports. The permission to buy the staple food outside the country for the public consumption has not been granted to anybody. Importing only the required quantity of basmati rice has been approved for the needs of tourist hotels. That was economic news.
Weather report.
Showers or thundershowers will occur at several places in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times in the eastern and Uva provinces and in the Hambantota district. Several spells of showers may occur in the north-central province. Fairly heavy showers, about 75 millimeters, are likely at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and northwestern provinces. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and central provinces and in the Galle and Mathura districts during the morning hours. That was the weather report. And now to end this news broadcast, the main points once again. The President attends to address the issues faced by the employees of the plantation sector. 25 billion rupees is allocated to continue the modernization program in the agricultural sector. Iran President is to visit the island to inaugurate the Umma Oya project. A memorandum of understanding is inked to establish a collaborative exchange program in the fields of education and research. Sarvodaya founder Dr. APR Ratna passes away. And on international news, Germany calls for fresh sanctions on Iranian drones. And on sports news, swimming, 2 Sri Lankan swimmers will be sent to the 2024 Paris Summer Olympics. That ends this news broadcast. And now it's back to Romesh Piris on a Tuesday night, all set and ready with your choice in music. Back to you, Romesh, once again.